we're going to be working on our fabric square. And this is your pattern that you're going to be referring to. This has the steps. You need to have a zigzag stitch, a basting stitch, a designs, and then 3 design stitches, 3 different design stitches. And this is kind of a pattern of what it should look like when you're finished. You should have a 6x6 piece of fabric, whatever color it is or pattern, that's fine. It's all the same. And you can use this paper or you can refer to the pattern online. And what I'd like you to do is make sure that your fabric is set off to the left of the machine. So here's our sewing machine. Make sure that the threads are in the needle, also that the bobbin and the bobbin case is there, and that the bobbin thread is coming up from the bottom, and both of those threads should be under the presser foot as you get started. You're going to have your fabric set off to the left, and you're going to place your presser foot down on the fabric, and you need to make sure that the fabric is lined up at the edge of the presser foot. Do not have it too far over where one of those feed dogs is showing, because that fabric will get sucked into the machine. So make sure that both feed dogs are covered by the fabric, and I want you to start in a little ways. I don't want you to start at the very edge. I want you to start in just a little bit so that, again, that fabric won't get pushed into the stitch plate at that point. As you start, you need to have your zigzag stitch set at 1/4 of an inch, which is the edge of the presser foot. And again, that's what that looks like right there, edge of the presser foot. Then it says setting 3 width and 3 length. You should have taken your sewing machine quiz, and you should know where the width and the length button is. This is your width button. This is your length button. To increase your width, you're going to hit this one, and to decrease, you're going to hit this one. And you can see on this gauge here, as you do so, the little black dots there fill in. And you need to have this all filled in up until the 3. And then this one needs to be down at the 3, at that point there. Do not hit any of these design stitches. We're not doing those yet. So this should still say 1 right here. And so that should be what it looks like as you get started with your zigzag stitch. You're going to come down, and you are going to make sure that you hold on to these threads with your left hand. Sometimes when you're starting to sew, you need to make sure to back stitch. So here's your back stitch button, and you would hold on to that and hold on to this, and you would go back about 3 stitches. On this project, it's not necessary to back stitch, but if you feel like that would be good practice for you, I would encourage you to try it. This one, you're going to hold on to these threads. You're going to tap lightly on your pedal, and you're going to hold your fabric so that it lines up at the edge of that presser foot. Okay, there's no reason why you need to be in a big hurry. You are just going to do this until you're comfortable as you go straight down the edge of this fabric. As you are approaching the end, you need to make sure that your needle is going to stop down in the fabric. See, mine's already set. I need you guys to come here at the needle stop up down button, and I need you to make sure that this needle on the gauge or on the display says needle down. If I push it again, it says needle up, and I need you again to have it needle down. So as you come to this edge here, you're going to push your pedal until you get where the fabric is going to be right in between the 2 toes of the presser foot. So it's ending right there in between there. Okay, at this point you can lift your presser foot, rotate your fabric, and then place it back down again so that you can head down this other direction. That is called pivot, and we will be doing that several times on our projects, so that's a good way to practice. I don't want you to just continue going forward and not and then backstitch and all that kind of stuff. If you pivot at each corner, then you have an opportunity to go sew quicker, and it also is more secure. So there's my fabric there at the edge of my toes, lift my presser foot, and then I will continue on that way. I am going to pull this out, and I'm going to show you what this will look like as you complete that. So you've got all 4 sides now zigzagged. Okay, for the next stitch, on your paper, on your pattern, it says that you need to have a basting stitch at 5/8 of an inch. 5/8 of an inch is on your stitch plate right here, but if you are to set that in there and you put your presser foot down, you can see that the zigzag stitch should now be at the edge of the presser foot. So you can either use this as a gauge where you keep that zigzag stitch at the edge of the presser foot, or you can also have the edge of the fabric right there at the 5/8 line. Either one, whichever one you're more comfortable with. And then this stitch is a basting stitch. A basting stitch is what is called a temporary stitch. It's only used to mark or to gather fabric. So I'm going to show you really quick what that looks like, but we need to change our setting to 0 width and 5 length. Okay, so we've got 0 width right here, and we've got 5 length. So we go all the way up to the top on this one. Okay, then as we come back down here, again, please make sure that you are holding these threads tight before you start sewing. And you are going to just do a straight stitch as you go to the edge. And then again, if the zigzag stitch is right there at the edge, in between those 2 toes, you should be able to lift your presser foot and come down. And as you can see, my presser foot is over the zigzag stitch and my 5/8 line is clear out here. So I can tell this is not lined up. So what I can do is I can go back and hit my back stitch button and go back 1 stitch. Okay, if I do that and I turn it, you can now see that the fabric is a lot closer to lined up on the 5/8 line. Okay, that is when you will continue sewing down this side. As you do that, I want to show you what a basting stitch looks like. So at this point, you can see this basting stitch is just a straight stitch, but because it is so long, you can use that to gather up the fabric. And this is where, like, if you have a cute little skirt or some curtains or something like that, you're going to gather it and then you would stitch over the top to keep the fabric gathered at that point. Plus, if you're using a basting stitch just to mark something, this comes out really quick and easy. So I could just pull on one side and then the stitch is all gone from there. So you can see here that that stitch has now been pulled out. So a basting stitch is temporary. It's not meant to hold fabric together. It's not very strong. Okay, so as you have sewn all the way around, you are basting each of the 4 sides. And again, you can kind of see where I come to the end and then I back stitch so that I can make sure that that is even all the way around. Now, once you've done the 1 and 2, we're going to do our design stitches in the middle. If you're not really sure what that means, again, refer to this and see how there's kind of those 3 design stitches there. So you're going to set this into the center, and it really is okay if there's not a precise place. The biggest thing that you have to remember is to hold on to those threads. So if you can't find those threads, make sure that you pull up your presser foot and find them. So you're finding your threads, and then you're coming back over here, and this is the only time you're going to be using these stitches. Don't use the straight stitch, you already did that, and you already did your zigzag stitches. And this button number 11 it is a button, but the buttonhole. Okay, so don't try 11, and just don't try 1, 2, or 3. So you can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Let's go ahead and try 10. Up here it's going to say the number 10. you're going to grab onto your thread and just push your pedal. You really shouldn't have to move the fabric anywhere. It's going to do all kinds of interesting things as it goes down. And as you hit the back stitch button, it's going to now head back all by itself. And then it just continues. And it'll go back and forth all by itself on that one stitch, okay? So that's what it looks like to try the number 10. Then you're just going to lift your needle up, lift your presser foot, pull your fabric out, cut the threads on the side, and then you're going to reset it so that we can do another design stitch. Let's try number 7 this time. And once again, make sure you're holding the correct threads. And number 7 does a little bit different. Again, you're just letting it go by itself, just so that you can kind of see what that looks like. Okay, and then you lift your presser foot, pull your fabric out. You can cut it on the thread cutter, and that's number 7. And then let's try number 5. Let's do that one. Okay, and hold your threads. And again, let it just kind of do whatever it's going to do. This is why it's a design stitch. It goes a lot different than just a normal straight stitch. And when you've gotten enough on there, you pull it off, lift your presser foot, pull it off, cut it on the thread cutter. Okay, this is your finished project right here. I want you to make sure that all of these little threads are clipped. I don't want to see any of these extra threads. And so clip all of those threads. And then you need to make sure that as you submit this on Canvas, that I can see the side that has the sewing on it the best. So if you need to go to the back of it because of the pattern on the square, then that's fine. But in this kind of a situation, again, I can just take a picture right here on the front and submit that. And that would be your completed fabric square.